happy Monday. Welcome to the Town Crier and the latest edition of Talking Sports. I'm Greg Selber. This is Pete Pettis. We're here to recap the games and look at the things that are coming up. You know the drill by now, so we're not going to confuse you with anything fancy or new. We're just going to do what we do best, which is what?
Talk sports.
That's right. Now, let's get right to it. Over in District 35A, Pete, we have a huge game this week. The Donna Redskins come to town, take on the Edinburgh North Cougars. That game will be Thursday at Cat Stadium with the usual early start time of 7 p.m. What do you expect to see in that ball game?
Well, I hope Edinburgh North comes out on offense because they didn't come out against EHS.
166 yards.
And because Donna is, they're rolling right now.
Donna's 4-0. They're very good in all facets of the game. So Edinburgh North started 5-0 the first time since 1992. If they want to get to 6-0, it's going to take their best effort of the season.
Going into that game, Greg, what do you think will be the key factor on offense for Edinburgh North?
Well, you know, EHS played a great defensive game. There's no question of that. They sacked the quarterback 5 times. So the first thing will be then to protect the quarterback because Donna will bring people. Donna is active on defense. They're going to bring some people, try to get Josh Vale off his rhythm. So the first thing to do is protect the quarterback. The other thing I think they need to do is get a few big plays on offense. Well, and of course they got one big play at the end, which was a 24-yard touchdown pass on 4th down and long that won the ball game with a minute to go. They don't want to have to wait until the end to try to do that against Donna because Donna, I think, is going to score some points. They've got a great offense. So it's going to take North's best effort of the season. I think that this was their trap game or their down game.
Yeah, sure. And it's a rival.
Anytime you play a city rival, I don't care what the records are. You know that old axiom of bromide, and it's usually true. EHS played well. We'll talk about them in a minute. But for Edinburgh North, I think the focus is going to be on playing complete 4 quarters and not being intimidated by Donna. Because let's face it, they have a tendency to come and they get loud and they woof at you and they hit you. I mean, it's an intimidating
Well, they started slow on Friday. Donna did.
Yeah, against Palmview,
You know what I mean? But then
scored 56. But yeah, it was only 9-6 after a certain point. You know, Donna's not unbeatable. I'll tell you this. We were joking before. They're not the 72 Dolphins. They are number 2 in the Valley in most polls, and they're a formidable football team. North plays like it's played all year, has its best effort. I think they have a chance to win. I really do.
Sure. Moving on to the next game, Greg.
Economides now. It was strange last week at Cat Stadium. Thursday you had a slugfest with 103 points. And then the next night it was 3-0 until 2 minutes were there. I'm like, what in the world? Kind of like alternate universe.
There.
Yeah, well, they did. They left all the points out there. Economides could have won that game. You know, they battled back. First of all, they were down 21-7. Then they were up 35-21. They scored 4 times in a row. They led by 14 at the half. They got down. They came back. They tied it again. And to me, that's the mark of a good ball club. Yeah. Sherryland's number 1. They did, but Economides didn't crater. They played hard. They scored 48 points. They led up the winning touchdown within the final minute. But I think heading into a game at La Jolla, they should be able to take them out quick, man.
Yeah, no, they should. And in that game also, it really just came down to who had the ball last.
And it was Sherryland.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Econ got the ball back with, 20 seconds left? And,
a couple of passes. But, you know, the bottom line is at 3-2, they are 1-2 in district. I think they're one of the best 1-2 teams in district in the Valley. Yeah. I think that they're a playoff team. And so now all they got to do is beat La Jolla. And they got a couple of games coming up. They got to load up on some wins and get to that plus 500 side in district. But I feel like that team has tons of talent. They showed they believe in themselves the way they came back against Sherryland. So, you know, you lost the game, but you played the number 1 team to a standstill and probably should have won. So, hey, that's a good lick for them.
Yeah.
But you got to come out on the road. La Jolla's not bad. I mean, you know, they're better than they have been in the past. They got a few weapons. Economides has got to play ball. La Jolla's not going to stop their running game, man.
Yeah.
They're not going to stop them. Nobody really has. So they'll get their yards, they'll get the win, and then look forward to the next week. So I think the Jags are in good shape. Strange that you would say a team is in good shape after they lost a game. But considering the circumstances of the game, I got no problem saying that.
In the next game, something's got to give. Someone's finally going to get a W.
Something's got to give. That's right. 0-5
EHS.
0-5 Vela. You know, I was a little bit surprised because I thought Vela would go out to Lincoln and play better. Because North hammered them into the turf.
Yeah.
They had some injuries, but it just didn't work out. I think Vela's main problem right now is that they're not scoring enough. They only average they scored 46 points in 5 games, 9.2. That's not enough against almost anybody because they're not going to stop people that way.
I've heard on the grapevine through some friends that they're getting everybody in now, giving everybody the reps that they need, and
3 quarterbacks.
Yeah. And the freshman's supposed to be
pretty
good athlete.
Yeah, well, you know, here's the thing. they didn't really know their personnel that well. How could they? Now they're starting to figure out who can do what to whom, and it's going to be tough though the rest of the season because they don't have a lot of gimme games coming up. I would think that this week against THS, think about it this way, and I wrote about this about a month and a half ago. Vela is the high school is built on the same ground where EHS used to be, and at the volleyball game between EHS and Vela, the Vela fans were chanting "Our house, our house." And some of the people in the stands were like, "Oh, wait a minute, that was our house before it was your house." So it's gonna be fun. There's gonna be a lot of people. The spirit lines will be long, from 20 to 20, maybe even longer. And I don't know, man. EHS, I thought, probably should have beaten North.
Yeah.
I mean, they had them for 46 minutes, and they squandered some opportunities. They fumbled inside the 5. They had all kinds of chances to put them away, and they didn't do it. And so, again, a good team like North will find a way to win a game where it doesn't play well. A team that's struggling like Edinburgh High will find a way not to win the game in the last 2 minutes. And that's no knock because I said their defense played good. And Steven Guerrero, number 43, you watch that guy because he was all over the field. Armando Barraza, 34, he had a good game. And a special notice goes out to Alex Cantu. Okay, he was the guy who was hurt, the quarterback that was hurt last year. And everyone's like, is he going to play? What is he going to do? Man, he played corner the other night. He had a bunch of tackles. He really got to the ball well. I was excited for the defense and for him because he's gone through a lot of troubles, a lot of pain. People wrote him off, and Alex played a heck of a game, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. Now, who wins the game, though? Who knows? I mean, you would think EHS has the edge, right? But how can you say an 0-5 team has an edge?
Over and over. Another 0-5 team.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they have the
tie.
edge. Yeah. 37 overtimes. No one scored. No, I think that both teams need to have a good effort. It's time for each of them to get off from back against the wall and just let it all hang out.
Come out.
I hope we see a really positive game with a lot of good plays. It's time for these teams to show what they can do. I know that both those teams are better than 0-5. I know that they're mad as hornets about the fact that it hasn't gone well. Okay, so you got a whole second half of the season. They're both 0-3 in district. Well, who's to say they won't end up 5-3? It starts on Friday at Cat Stadium. Let's see which of them teams has more pride, going to go out and take that game.
7:30. Mm-hmm. Moving into the McAllen area.
Oh, shall we? We're over right across the street here from Memorial Stadium.
Where there was a very good game Friday night when Rowe took it to San Benito.
I'll tell you what.
It was supposed to be the defense that only allows 10 points.
Right. Remember what we said? Can they get San Benito in a scoring match? And they did, and they won. Yeah. So, Rowe, I'll tell you what, man. Obregon is surprising me every week with his multi-talents. I knew he was a good passer, but he had 171 rushing, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, in fact, I think he was the only kid that carried the ball. Another guy had 2 carries.
Yeah, no, it was.
Right?
There was 3 total carries. 3 carriers, and he did all the legwork. And I mean, he lit up Adrian Salazar. That guy.
Golly, 13 catches.
He's a beast, man.
Right.
He's a beast.
I like the way they got Pettis involved in the game too.
Yeah.
That kid had 13 catches out of the back.
Okay, so but we know about
Rowe offense is a known quantity.
We all know about that, but what came up was Rowe's defense.
Is that right?
They finally showed up. We had Jesse Gomez. He was all over that quarterback.
Was he?
Yeah, he was all over that quarterback, sacking. They got a big sack for turnover on downs, there are a lot of turnover on downs, and that was a really big problem for both teams.
Mm.
And
Bocanegra's the other kid?
Yeah. And then he came up with the game-winning fumble.
Hey, man. Hey, well, we said all along this year, if Rowe can play defense, they've got a chance to make the playoffs. Remember 2 weeks ago we were saying, well, it's 0-2.
What happened with Matt Cox, exactly. The coach was telling me that he was like, everybody wrote us off after we lost to Matt Cox, and
not anymore.
Yeah.
Rowe was right in it. Rowe and PSA North are 2-1.
And not only that, so now Rowe plays Wesco this week, and if they win, there's a tie for first.
If they win, they're in first place basically, because they will have the same record.
But the tiebreaker. Yeah.
So Rowe's in great shape. That's how it can change from week to week, right? 2 weeks ago we were saying Rowe's in trouble. They're not in trouble. They're in good shape.
See, but the thing is, everybody in this district is in good shape.
Right.
I mean, they're all beating each other.
What about McAllen now?
McAllen,
man, they got pounded by East. That was surprising. I would never predict. I might have said they could lose because nobody's undefeated. But I mean, gee whiz, man.
3 picks,
35-7. Yeah, well, hey, look, he's a great player. He finally had a game in which he played like a sophomore. It happens. If I was him, I'd say, okay, big deal. Hey, Nemo, move on. I mean, here we are. Yeah.
They got the week off, and that's exactly what they need. So, come out the following week,
Well, McAllen's still a great football team. and 4-1, 2-1. That's fine. They can deal with that. They weren't going to go undefeated. I don't think anybody's going to go undefeated.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of undefeated teams. I mean, Saraland North and down a few others. Mission. That's all. It's like five.
They're all going to cancel each other
Well,
out.
that's right. Eventually, there will be no Harlingtons this year that go 12-0 into the fourth round of the playoffs, third round of the playoffs. Okay, so Rose looking good. McAllen, we'll see how they do. What about Memorial now? They had the off week.
They had the off week.
Coming off a loss, they have the off week, and now they got PS State Memorial at home over here 20 minutes from there, 20 seconds from there. So now, what do you think about that ball game?
It's going to be a good running game. Yeah.
Should be.
Yeah.
Someone's got to win.
And I think the having the week off for Memorial let them get rejuvenated and ready to go. And I think they should be doing pretty well.
Well, I hope so because PS State Memorial is still tough. Now they have lost 2 in a row, and the manner in which they lost has been interesting. Of course, 17 points the last 2 games after getting 62 3 weeks ago. So which team are we going to look at? Here's the problem with PS State Memorial. They have Borrego and Mancias, who are great offensive players. But if they don't get the running game, then they're one-dimensional, right? So their key is going to be to come out and establish the line of scrimmage and get tough on that Memorial D. I expect it might even be the game of the week. Neither one is on the upswing right now. So what they want to do is win this game and get on the upswing. I think it's dead even. Really.
Yeah. I mean, it should be a toss-up. I mean, it's anybody's game, not in this district. I can't reiterate that enough. I mean, it's really anybody's game.
You look at these schedules of these teams, and every week there's some crazy game.
Yeah.
You're right. So, that means that we won't have a lot of district races decided until the last week of the season.
Which makes fun.
That's right. It makes it good. All right, so other teams in that district. What about PSJ North? They're like Rowe because now they're 2-1.
Yeah.
A week or two ago, we were wondering whether Bruce Bush's team was going to be there. Well, they're 2-1. Now PSJ North is at San Benito.
That's.
I
mean, it's a road game, so it makes everything difficult.
It's a road game against a team that was a preseason number 1. I'm gonna come out and have to say that I think San Benito was not as good as we thought they were in the game. They have not been able to score points, and except for last week, 28. I feel like PSJ North has a good chance to win the game. The thing is, Caleb Silva's hurt. Hopefully not as bad as all that. But Hakeem Fontil, man, 281 yards, 67, 63, 43, right. I mean, he's a crazy legs, long, lean, he got good hips. I mean, he's gone, man. I thought he was hurt, too. He got hurt at the end of the first half 2 weeks ago, but apparently it was just a tweak. So, I mean, if he's hurt and goes for 281, he may go for 481 if he's not hurt. Bottom line is that makes him a lot better. Now,
but you have a good backup.
Tell me about it. The Raiders' deal now is can they get a little bit more diverse? Because Ryan Guerrero is a good runner. He runs the place, runs the system well. He's got to complete about 4 or 5 passes and at the right time, and they can beat those guys. They can go over there and beat San Benito, and I think they will, actually.
Man, the way San Benito played offense this week, I really – they got some plays, but –
well, Jesse Jimenez is the quarterback. He's coming on. I mean, he's gotten a lot better, I think, from week 1 or 2.
He has.
But yet, San Benito has got to be reeling.
And Arturo Coronado, he's a good runner.
Oh, man. He's a good kick return, too. He's got 2 kick returns for touchdowns.
75. Oh, yeah. Right. When that game opened, you were like, well, man, this is going to be a shootout. Because it only took 4 plays for Rowe to score.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Homeboy ran the kickoff. Golly, I mean, San Benito right now, unfortunately, is a wounded animal. So PSJ North better be careful. Because the Greyhounds have a lot of pride. Everybody's like, they're not that good.
San Benito.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying, well, San Benito's overrated. And those guys hate to get picked on. They hate to get put down. You know what? They're going to be ready to play. They're going to hit. They still have a great defense.
No, they do.
That to me, along with that Rowe game against Weslaco, that's one of the games to lose right there. Now, PSJ at 0-3, usually you would say an 0-3 team is done. But in this district, when there's going to be a 2 or 3 loss. There's going to be a 3-loss team in the playoffs in the district. I can guarantee you. It's hard to avoid it. So if they win 4 out of 5, who knows? They did not have a good effort against North. They got beat 41-7, and now they got to go over to Weslaco and play East on a Thursday. East, of course, is probably the hottest team in the valley, so it's tough. The good thing is East is going to look past them.
Yeah.
All right. All these Bears, they're not no good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. The only thing
which sets up that trap game.
It does. It concerns me though because Eddie Mansell was hurt. I'm not quite sure how badly he is hurt and whether he'll be back in. To me, he was the most effective offensive weapon they had at quarterback. Santillan's going to be in there as far as I can see, and he's a better thrower. So maybe they can get some passes completed and they can make it interesting. I'm afraid though, Weslaco East, we got them at 9-5-6 on number 4. I think 4 or 6 in the valley. They're coming on, man.
Yeah.
That was a big win for them
Yeah,
last
no, it
week.
really
And they're
was.
tough.
I mean,
Forget about them being a 4A team, man. That's a classy 5A team with a pedigree. It's going to be hard for the Bears.
it's a big town. I mean,
Yeah,
it's big
exactly.
enough.
And it's a
But
football
yeah,
town,
yeah.
too. The Little League teams are always
Yeah.
going off to the regionals and whatnot. So, yeah, Weslaco's tough. All right, so that's a good look at 31 5A. Now, on our lower levels, PSJ Southwest gets back into action. They're at Mercedes. Mercedes is tough. They beat Mission Vets. They led 27-7 and held on. PSJ Southwest is going to have to take. This is going to be a ball control game.
Yeah.
You know, both teams want to take the ball and run the clock out and get some points.
How bad of a factor do you think the road would be?
Well, for a team in its first varsity season, you know, all the things that you do for the first time. So you take a group over there on the bus. First, you got to get them all corralled. Then you got to get your equipment. Then you got to figure out where we're gonna eat. We're gonna do this. All these things. A road trip is always more difficult. I used to kind of consider it fun when I was a kid, but I wasn't a coach having to marshal all these cats together and make sure. Oh my God, coach, we forgot the football.
You weren't the adult.
That's right. But you know, PSJ Southwest has proven that it has a reasonably good team. They could really throw that district race into a dither if they can go beat Mercedes. I'm not sure that they can, but I'm telling you what, I know they're going to give a good effort. Now, Mission and Edcouts, going over to Mission here. Edcouts obviously is in a state of turmoil. They did beat Roma pretty handily. It's still a good football team. Forget about the headlines. It's still a good team.
It is a good football team, and it's kind of a shame what's going on over there. But that's beyond that. That's neither here or there. I think they can go and take Mission down.
It's a great game, man, because Mission is undefeated. Edcouts is strong with a tradition, and I think that they have a little mad up too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not happy about the way things have happened. You know, that UIL or DEC decision, whatever it is. They're going to play hard and they're going to be PO'd, as it were. On the other hand, Mission, look, man, Mission has one of those great Pena defenses going. Albert Roque is a linebacker. Eric Flores, Adonis Juarez. They got some real good players, man. That Juan Rios is a huge quarterback that can throw. I'd like to go see that game. I'm not sure that I'll be able to. But I think it'll be fireworks, and I think it'll be exciting. Mission, hey, man, a 4-0 start. They killed Valley View. Everybody's talking about, well, you know, Valley View's 3-0. Man, they took them down like there's no tomorrow. Mission has a good chance against Edcouts. You know, the 4A race is just starting to develop, and we'll see how it goes from there. So let's do the quick recap. Down the North is the game of the week.
We got that.
We feel like it's Thursday at Cat Stadium. It's one of those can't-miss games. Let's see how good North is, bottom line.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The biggest test for them.
Condominiums at La Jolla, they should have, I say no problem, but the way they're playing, you know, offensively, they should get some points and yards. They should beat La Jolla. Sherryland and Lincoln, why would you expect Sherryland, the number one team, who's scored 160? Right, exactly, right? Now, Lincoln, of course, did well against Vela last week. This is a whole different cat right here. EHS Vela, going to be a great atmosphere. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. One team's going to get a win, and that's very exciting. But neither one has one to date, right? McAllen is off. Rowe is at Weslaco. You think Rowe is going to win that game? Just let's double back and see. Rowe, Weslaco, what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you.
Because that defense finally impressed me, and they stepped up when they needed to step up, and they kept smacking them in the face.
I like a game where you have two teams on the upswing. Because look what happened. Bing, you got to meet somewhere. Someone's going to go up, and somebody's going to go down. I'm excited for Rowe, though, man. They're doing well. Memorial and PSJ Memorial, that's going to be a battle. Both teams need to win.
Yeah, I think they're even, so I'd give it to the home field.
Is Memorial a year away? They don't think so. So they think it's now, and we're going to find out this week. PSJ North San Benito, will the Raiders keep it up? Is San Benito dead in the water? We're going to find out.
I hope.
Yeah, PSJ Southwest and Mercedes, that's a tough struggle for PSJ Southwest, but they can run the ball. We'll see how they do. PSJ at Weslaco East, it's going to be tough, but hey, hope springs eternal. There's a lot of pride over there in the Tri-Cities. I guarantee you that they're going bananas this week in practice trying to win. And Mission and Edcouts, it doesn't get any better than the 4A level. Now, is there any other announcements or clearinghouse or parliamentarianism that we need to do here?
Well, we've got when on days where there aren't any games, I go out and we shoot video. We get a little highlight reel going. You can get it on yourvalleyvoice.com. And of course, we have us.
Yeah.
And then
us. A poor thing but our own, the best of a bad lot. So we've got, slowly but surely, we're rolling out all the things that we're going to bring you from Town Crier and the Edinburgh Review. So it's the newspaper, it's our website, our webcast, our web show on Monday nights. You'll get it on Monday nights, right? Yeah, exactly. yourvalleyvoice.com. And that's really difficult to type in because every time I do it, I end up with VPOICE, voice somehow. I screwed up. Anyway, we're going to be making some announcements at Cat Stadium this weekend. telling people about the show. And you got to tell your friends and neighbors about it. We'll have some pictures. We got video now. We've got all this discussion. And eventually, somewhere down the road, when the season's turned, there's a chance that we're going to be talking about winter sports like basketball. When we get into spring, we're probably going to be doing some softball because Edinburgh's got great softball, so is McAllen Sharyland. So we're looking to keep this thing going, talking sports. As always, we encourage you to stop us on the street, tell us how good we are, or how anything else you might think. And tune in next week on Monday. This is Greg Selber. That's Pete Pettis. Oh, he can say it. Go ahead.
My name's Pete. I'm out.
Right on. Listen, have a great week at the games, and let's see how the teams do. We'll come back to tell you next week all the things that we saw.